Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to Let's Chop It Up. Anthony McNeil. How y'all doing today? I hope y'all had a good day. Um, I had to say my apologies. I don't know if y'all see the banner or not. Um, Libra beautiful Libra butterflies um, had a emergency that she been dealing with for a while. Shout out to Libra butterflies who I was supposed to be interviewing tonight. Um, and I was looking very forward to doing the very first interview with her, but she has some very important stuff that she has to deal with. But we definitely still going to do it. I still came on instead of just counseling it, and just letting it be. Um, but I wanted to come on and let y'all hear me, instead of just giving a apology and to reschedule. But I wanted to tell you myself. Hey, I see. Hey, Ramamas. Yeah, I just got a message when I was in Bama Girl trying to promote it, um, and she's not able to make it. Um, yeah, she has some. I mean, from everybody who knows who she is, everything that she's dealing with right now, and that ongoing matter she's still dealing with, and it came up at the last minute. So, wanted to give my sincere apologies. You know how life sometimes get in the way of things, and you have to deal with them. I mean, it is what it is. Um, Basically, if I have a fill-in interview, I like to interview you, real mamas. I like to interview you, Triple L. Yeah, definitely very interesting people. I mean, I continue to show in a different way, in a different light. If y'all wanted to do it, or just drop off and continue to surf the YouTube streets. But I appreciate y'all coming. Um, Definitely appreciate y'all coming. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. Let's see. Only two people in. So again, um, CoCo929 had an emergency that just came up that she had to deal with. And hey, P. Davis, how you doing? And I just wanted to give my apologies. We had to reschedule. Probably going to try to push it out a little bit more, so it's not going to be. She's saying tomorrow, but I'm not going to able to do it tomorrow. But also with her dealing with the things she's dealing with, I wanted to push it out a little bit more just to. Oh, okay. I see you, real mamas. Oh, you at work? Okay. Oh, that's cool. Uh, oh, that's what's up, Triple L. Yeah, yeah. That's why So you didn't see her, and other stuff. Plus, she had to work, and then she had to deal with something that came up while she was at work on her way home for her to do the interview. So, but it's all good. We love Coco and definitely want her to help get through her situation. Um, in a way, yeah. Subscribe to Coco929, aka her channel is Libra Beautifuls. Also, I'm pretty sure everybody in the chat know Real Mama's Real Problems. The sexy voice. Um, how can I put it? Dowry, Domineer, um, sexy voice with a sprinkle of pizzazz when it comes to reading poetry. I mean, I would say real mama's poetry. Check her out. Real Mom's Real Problems. Also, she's in a couple of other chats. It's that bullshit. And that's that bullshit. Correct me, please. Um, Also, Triple L be doing his thing. Oh yeah, Triple L just did a video, man. It was real funny, really cool. I was just checking it out, and he's using that beat that Tree might be using, and he's doing a parody, and that it's pretty nice. I need to check him out too. Mr. Live, Love, and Laughing, aka Triple L. I need to check him out as well. But he's pretty nice. Yeah, nice. It's not even like it's content without it being content. It's like shooting the shit, you know. So it's like the same thing. I was just on his channel last night, and we was just in there, just chopping it up. Yeah, that's okay. That's that bullshit. Use the @ sign instead of the I. Featuring Andrea Lynch. Right. I just click, when I see it, I just click on it when I see name of it. Hey, Lady P, thank you for coming by. Had to cancel because some important things came up with our sister Libra Butterflies, aka CoCo929. And so I had to cancel the interview. I said it in Bama's Girls, but I think you just came in, so I had to cancel it. So we're going to actually reschedule it at a later time and do it. But life comes in. You had to deal with life first. You know how that go. So I mean, standing here probably for the next 15 minutes for everybody who come back. I didn't want to just leave it out without or put up a cancellation on the live. I wanted to at least let y'all see or hear my voice, to give my deepest apologies. We had to reschedule it, to cancel the interview, to reschedule it. But I appreciate you coming by, Lady P. Y'all subscribe to Lady P. She definitely be having great interviews. It's some with good laughter and with a gangster type appeal. But she's a sweetheart. Just don't get her wrong. She'll cut you fast if she don't shoot you first. But that's my road dog, Lady P. I love her. Check her out. She's pretty cool. Hey, Miss B-Town Hester. Thank you for coming in. I don't know if you saw over in Bama Girls, I had to cancel at the last minute. Coco had a dire emergency that she had a situation she had to take care of. She wasn't able to make it in. So we're going to have to reschedule. I came on anyway just to, give my deepest apology and also cancel the interview to reschedule. But I appreciate, I'm just shouting out everybody who comes in, Miss B Town, the lady about town, with everybody, and definitely for, the YouTube community and the Black community. Oh, you here? You want to continue on then? Oh, I thought you was, from the message, and I got the message from 300. Okay, well, the show goes on then. It's not canceled. Let me take that off then. All right, hold on. Okay, let me get the banner out. Let me get the let's see. Let me get the link for you. I should have sent it to you earlier, but let me know if you can see this or not. I'm not sure. Here you go. Or I'm gonna have to send it to you in the email if you. There she is. The champ is here. The champ is here.
Hey.
Hey, yeah, I was just telling everybody, that you weren't able to. You had this other stuff to do.
Hey.
Oh, you got another tab open?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Yes. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was saying that I was just telling everybody that you weren't going to able to make it because you thought you had the situation to deal with. So, from the text message that I got from you,
Yes.
yeah. So I didn't. I mean, from there, I thought you said we'd do it tomorrow, but I'm not able to do it tomorrow. That's why I sent the text that I sent to you.
Yeah. What happened was at the last moment, the detectives on my daughter's case wanted to meet. And so once I got that information and everything, I had to take care of that. And I just got through with my children and my family having a meeting about what we found out and all this and stuff and the next move. So I seen that you were still on. I'm like, let me see if I can get them real quick. And so I made it.
Okay. Well, let it get it resituated then. Since we're
Okay.
going on, thank you, and then I'm gonna get the introduction started. Give me 1 second.
Okay. And hey, everybody in the chat. I don't know if y'all can still hear me, but hey.
Here we go. Welcome everybody to Let's Chop It Up. I'm Anthony McNeil. Welcome to my channel. We have the best friend, best author, counselor. She wears many hats, and she's a very awesome person. 300 told me to leave you a message too. He said, "Open up the door. He trying to get in the house."
Anyway,
Uh,
keep it moving.
uh, but yeah, we have a very, very awesome person who's been dealt, bad cards that are coming up, but she withered through the storm, and her story is her walk, her path. And I read her books, and I would suggest y'all reach out to the sister and get her books. I will be showing them if with her permission on here after the live or at the end of the live. They're very, very, very interesting, but you can it's a lot of messages that you can learn from in there. But no further ado, Libra Butterfly, aka CoCo929. Go ahead and talk to the people.
Hey, hey, hey. I'm happy to be here and thank you for that wonderful introduction. You make me seem like I'm a star. Something like that. But I appreciate you. I really do. And thank you so much for your support, especially with my books and things like that. So I am an open book. So whatever questions you want me to answer, just ask and let's get it going.
All right, all right. Um, do you want to have some questions during the chat to be asked? As
They
we're
can.
going.
They
Okay.
can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just so I keep an eye on the chat as well.
Okay.
Okay. Let's start off here. First, Coco. Who is CoCo929?
Who is CoCo929? She is a wonderful, beautiful, um, soft-hearted, um, hard shell, um, more than the conqueror, friend, sister, daughter, and a fighter to her heart. That about sums me all the way up. People think when they see me that because I carry myself in such a way. Let me just say, like, if people think when they see me that I'm mean, but I'm not mean. I'm really a soft-hearted person. I really am. But I've had to protect that woman. I've had to protect my heart. So I'm always observing people when I meet them. I
Mhm.
meet a person, but then I observe who they show me, and then who I see that they are. So yeah.
Okay.
I'm a butterfly.
Which how butterflies come. You know what I mean? They first,
Yeah.
they're come out from a shell from
Hmm.
another butterfly that turns to a caterpillar, and then
Yeah.
they transition into a cocoon, and then comes out a beautiful butterfly.
Yeah.
And that's what we're speaking on tonight with Coco, on how she started from the shell
Hmm.
and now as a beautiful butterfly.
Thank you.
So,
Yes.
so Coco, tell us
Mhm.
about um, how life started as a young girl, growing up in Tennessee,
No,
wait,
Kentucky.
Kentucky. I'm sorry, Kentucky. My
Hmm.
bad, Kentucky. Um, Tell us how life has handed your triumphs and your falls coming up through the mean streets of Kentucky.
Okay, so let's see. Um, One of the main things I can say is a lot of my issues and situations that happened to me started at the age of 8 years old. 8 years old is a significant number for me.
Mm-hmm.
I was remembering I was feeding my little sister, my grandmother. We used to live with my grandmother. And my grandmother said, here, feed your sister while I go hang these clothes out. And so I was feeding her and everything. And I noticed it was taking so long for her to come back in. And my
Mm-hmm.
little sister was in her walker and she went to the back door and started hitting the back door with her walker.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept saying, stop bumping the door. Well, I didn't know that it was to me, and I believe in angels and stuff. I didn't know that it was an angelic situation trying to get me to come out. So when I went to the door, I saw my grandmother was laying on the ground in front, up under the clothesline. And so I ran out the door, and everything. I was, of course, I'm a kid. I'm crying. I'm like, what's wrong? What's wrong? And everything. And she was like, she started telling me, Granny's not gonna be here with you. You're the strongest one of the family. You're in charge of the family. You're gonna need to be there for your mother. Your mother's not gonna be able to handle this. You are going to have to be there for her. And I'm still crying and like, no, no, Granny, no, Granny. So I finally ran to my godmother's house, which was two doors down. And my godmother said, girl, well, stop beating on my door. What's wrong? And I said, Granny. And that's all I could get out of my mouth. And she said, oh my God. So, she ran over there and everything and stuff like that. And one of the things that I remember about that whole situation is how the corners, okay, beat the ambulance to our house.
Oh man.
And I thought that was kind of, you know, and she actually took her last breath right as the corner was pulling up.
Oh God.
Okay. So, in that day, and the night before, because I used to sleep with my grandmother, the night before, she was setting up on the side of the bed just stirring. And I happened to sit up and say, Granny, what's wrong? She said, nothing, baby. Everything's okay. It's really okay. And I said,
Mm-hmm.
okay. So I lay back down. And the next morning, she got up and cooked, I mean, all of our favorite foods. I'm talking, it was Thanksgiving in the house. And I was like, I came there because, I got that from my granny. I cook Sunday dinners during the week, but she had dressing and macaroni and sweet potatoes and greens. And I mean, it was just like fit for a king. And I was like, dang, even as a kid, I noticed that was kind of out of the ordinary. So
Mm-hmm.
she knew. She knew. So that kind of started, the spiral for a minute because my mom had to get to know a child that she didn't know because the whole time I had been in existence, my mother was actually my sister. So when my granny died, that forced my mother to be my mother. And we
Mm-hmm.
didn't mix too well because I didn't like her as my sister. So I'm just being honest, I didn't. So for her to switch those hats, it was like, you really my mama, like, so it just didn't mix. And so for a while she had to find who she was, which left me vulnerable, which left me other people babysitting me, other family members
Mm-hmm.
stepping in and stuff like that. So
Okay. Okay. How many siblings do you have?
woo, uh, uh, I have 8.
Older, younger?
I have one. I have 2 that's older. One I've never met. Okay, so actually it's 9. One I've never met that lives in China.
Oh,
Um, and I have an older sister. She's married and she lives in some parts of Alabama. And then everybody else is under me.
oh, okay. So you had to be the mom, step-in mom for your younger siblings as you was coming up as well.
Yeah, for my younger sister. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Yep.
that's
And
great.
for my mother, to be honest, and for my mother, because my mother had a nervous breakdown. She had a nervous breakdown more than once. And
Okay.
so for you to be an 8 or 9 year old little girl, because this kept going, this was an ongoing thing, for you to be 8 or 9 and your mom have a nervous breakdown. The first time I didn't know what was going on. I was like, what? I couldn't get her to stop crying. Like and she just kept squeezing me. I couldn't get her to stop crying and to stop squeezing me. So I
Oh
had to
my
call
God.
my aunt. That's the only number that I really, really knew. And
Right.
so her sister came over and she was still in that state, and she's
Mhm.
like, come on. So they called the EMS and ambulance came and got her and took her to the hospital. And I had to sign my mother in.
Well,
Imagine
thank
that.
God they let you do that because when you interview me, you're going to hear about my mom and my situation almost with the same thing with the nervous breakdown. And
See?
so I definitely can relate to that situation. But
Yeah.
mine's turned out a little different from that. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, that's okay. I'm glad somebody can relate to what I'm saying. So, you know, but and then she came home, after a lot amount of time, and but like I said, it would happen over again. And I mean, my mother's a strong woman. Don't get me wrong, she
Right.
really is. But we had to develop. I want to say we had to develop a like ship first before the love ship kicked in. I'm quite sure she loved me because she had me,
Right.
but she didn't like me much. She didn't like me as a kid, like as a baby. And
Right.
I think it had to do with whatever happened between her and my dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I
which
just
is which is common,
yeah,
back in those times, the generation before us, from our time. You seen that a lot back in the 50s and 60s, with
hmm
um if mothers having issues with, the kids' dads and stuff, and some vice versa, and a lot of times it be ticking out on them, on the
hmm
kids, which was not fair. So, but also, that's been a generational curse, for
yeah.
some time as well. Even back in slavery, where certain things used to happen. So I definitely understand where you come from there.
Okay, yeah.
It's almost like we're related, but we're not.
Right. That is so true. Yes.
Okay. So as you're coming up and you turn teenager, come out of adolescence, going into adolescent years, um, what have happened from there? I'm going off from the everything that I read in your books, and without going too ahead of myself, I just want to detail, who is exactly CoCo929. I know who she is from in the book and from talking to her and that aspect of it, and for us having our dealings, but to tell the people, the where you were from there coming up. Can you talk about
Okay.
that?
Yeah, no problem. Let me see. At the age of 8, um, one of my older cousins took a liking to me. And he took a liking to me not as a cousin, but as somebody he fell in love with. He was
Hmm.
actually 3 years older than me, so I'm 8. That would make him 11. Um, and the first time he approached me to pin me and kiss me. Then he ran.
Hmm. Okay.
Um, and it was just little things like if I went in where I used to live at, we used to have these trucks
Hmm.
that would be called a candy truck. And
Yeah,
on the
we know about those, the candy and the ice cream truck or the
yeah,
candy lady.
yes. And so I remember I was walking past the door, and he was in the door, and he was just watching me. And I went on to the candy truck. Well, while I was at the candy truck, I turned around. He was 4 people behind me, And so it's like everywhere I went, he was showing up. And I remember the first time that he really started feeling and touching all on me and stuff like that. It freaked me out. And I remember telling my grandmother, which was his grandmother, I said, he's touching me, like that. And she blamed me, you know. Uh,
Uh-oh.
Her thing was it was because of how I was built,
Hmm.
you know. So
which
when
is which
you
is which is another general
curse,
yeah, this is a general generational curse. Right. That's one of the things that happens a lot, especially in in black families,
mhm,
and I would say other families too. But they nobody don't speak on it, and I appreciate you very very much from the deepest part of my heart. I appreciate you saying this because it happens so often, but you know the end of that. Nobody don't want to see anything. Well, let me be quiet. Go ahead. I'm about to give it away and talk for you. So
that's
yeah.
okay. Yeah, that and if y'all know if anybody, I'm sorry, y'all. Hold on.
Think we're talking about 80s, the best decade ever. Yeah,
And
you're right about that. I like that. Thanks for
if,
coming
uh,
by.
yeah, if anybody know any woman, any man who has been molested or raped or whatever, honey, y'all need to get them on this broadcast today. I'm telling y'all because Anthony, this is what I bump into. I bump into a whole lot of women
Mm-hmm.
who are in their late 60s. I've even talked to a woman in her 80s
Mm-hmm.
who said that, her brother used to molest her and all this and stuff. And she's grew with that. She's
Mm-hmm.
kept that because when she tried to say something, she got beat.
Right.
So it's a lot of women that's walking around with that hidden shame and hidden pain,
Right.
and they keep taking it, and it's ruining every relationship that they come and encounter. It
Thank you for
ruins
saying
the
that.
Yeah, it
Because
does.
it does affect. It does affect. I mean, and same with you. I have family that has gone through that from my aunties and even my mom. And I mean, yes, but it's not only the family too. It's also family friends who come and
Yes,
stay with you and do trying to sexual assault minors and stuff like that. And then depends on who they are. A lot of times they let that go. Unseen and unheard and unspoken upon.
that's
So
right.
it's something that we definitely need to break because it's still going on today,
It
but
is.
we really still need to get out there and get out on the open. This needs to stop because this is one of the things that men and women are not having trust for a relationship because they have been hurt, and a lot of them don't even like going to seeing counselors either.
Right.
I think it's a taboo for you to go talk to a shrink, and it's not. That's one of the things we definitely need. So I appreciate you for actually coming out and talking about it.
No problem. And see, after I told my grandmother, like I said, hey Lolo,
Hey,
after I
Lolo.
told my grandmother, and she blamed me. I didn't realize why she blamed me. It took her daughter, which was the oldest child. My daddy was the oldest boy. Um, she was the oldest child. It's like the girl was the oldest, and the boy was the second oldest. So
Mhm.
me and his mother and my dad was the first and second born. So it took his mother to tell me why my grandmother said that to me and told me to shut up. And she told me because in our lineage, um, my people come from Jamaica, come from France, and
Mhm.
also they're Indians. Okay,
Right.
and in our specific tribe, they make with each other to keep our blood pure
Right.
and stuff. So it's not uncommon to have two first cousins marry, have sex, have kids.
Right.
And that has been the tradition. Okay. And I didn't know anything about that. I didn't want to be a part of the tradition like that. However, that's what, his mom told me, my aunt. And because his mom and her first cousin got together, had sex, and she was pregnant and she fell down the steps and lost the baby.
Oh
Okay.
God.
So it's generational. Each generation did that and stuff. So imagine me, trying to shed light because somebody's hurting me, and me being shut down and tell him to shut up and don't say nothing. So that allowed him to do whatever he wanted to do to me and get away with it, basically. um and it also opened me up to other things, because on the flip side of that, on my mom's side, the older cousins on my mom's side, including female cousins, used to mess with me too.
Mm-hmm.
I was like the smorgasbord. Everybody wanted a piece of cocoa,
Gotcha. Gotcha.
you know. Yeah. So this went on for years. Went on for years. And as far as my cut on my dad's side, the cousin I'm talking about, it went on so much that I fell in love with him.
Oh.
Yeah, I fell in love with him. And wait a minute, y'all. Can I answer this real quick, Anthony? This is my husband calling from work.
Okay. Go ahead. Yeah. Sorry, 300. Hey, Melissa. Thank you for coming by to our interview. Sit back and relax and enjoy. And 300. Like when you came in a little late, but yeah, I try to tell her. I mean, well, try to holler, but yeah, I don't know what you did, but yeah, you're gonna have to get a Bentley or something. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, go buy a Bentley. You know, put a bow around it and say, "Hey, can I come back in from there?" And I hope that y'all can. I mean, I know from this interview, y'all can take a lot from this. And I know y'all were able to relate to a lot of it. As almost every last one of you in here, except for a couple, I have listened to y'all lives when y'all speak upon about each other and about yourselves. I learned a lot about y'all, and from her story, some deep and some not so deep, that I can relate to, what Coco has gone through. So I hope we can everybody can take a piece of this, and we can start breaking general um,
Generational.
generational curses, and try to get our people right. But here she
That.
is again.
Yeah. So yeah, I fell in love with him because, you know, you may not like the taste of alcohol, but if somebody keep feeding it to you and that's the only thing you got, eventually you'll develop a liking for it and you'll start
Right,
craving.
right.
Yeah.
I've been down
So,
that road myself. So
and we did eventually. He did eventually get me pregnant. We had a child. I hid that child from him
hmm
until um about, let me see, until about 2013.
hmm
Then that's when I let him know that, yeah, my second daughter was his child,
okay,
and everything. And he happened to be getting out of prison. He didn't go to prison for me, but he so happened to be getting out of prison at that time. And she had begun to ask me who was her dad. Hey,
got it.
December baby.
Hey,
And
December baby. Thank you for coming.
I told her, I said, well, there's no shame because it is what it is, And she said, I just want to know who my dad is. No judgment, mom. So I told her, I said, well, my first cousin, my big cousin, is your dad. And I think it floored her, but she recovered really, really well. She was like, huh? And so I got to I got to explain the story to her. And she's like, wow, mom. She's like, wow. She said, well, I still love you. I don't care. So then she wanted to meet him. So that's what made me tell him, because like I said, during all these years, I would never tell him. I wouldn't confirm that one of my kids was his. He kind of felt one was, because that's what he wanted. He actually wanted all his kids by me. He and here's the thing about my family that I still don't get to this day.
Mhm.
Um, they knew what was going on, um, but they never would stop him for finding me.
Mm-hmm.
Case in point, like when we still all lived in the same apartment complex, my auntie, our auntie, used to get him drunk and high. Like he would go over there and she would say, "Where you gonna go?" And he would say, "Down CoCo's." And she's
Mm-hmm.
like, "Stay away from that girl." He's like, "Man, whatever." And then she told him several times, "Well, don't get her pregnant. Make sure you take a condom. Make sure you pull out." And she would smoke a joint with him, hit a,
Mm-hmm.
hit a couple birds with him, and send him on down my way. You know.
Mm-hmm. Oh man.
um,
um. So now that we hear your teenage years, when did the nightmares begin?
okay, nightmares is explain it a little bit for me so I know how to answer your question.
Um. Basically, we're fast forward as I would say at around graduation from school, getting ready for college, and going through that area of your life.
Okay. What happened is I actually to me everything began like I said when I turned 8.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going it just spiraled from there because I went from having the love and uh caring and protection of a parent
Mm-hmm.
to fending for myself in such a way.
And
Um,
also becoming a parent at a young age as well.
yeah, I became a mother 7 days before my sweet 16th birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And I feel like my daughter, and I tell her this all the time. I told her she was my sweet 16 gift. I feel like she saved my life because I just think had I not had her, that the person that you see before you now would
Mm-hmm.
have never existed.
Okay.
Sometimes
So
I'm not.
what brought you before you became pregnant? What brought you uh was bringing you close to making that decision?
Decision to change.
Well, you said for you not to be here.
Oh, okay. For the simple
Suicide.
fact that promiscuity, it had to be on the horizon for me.
Okay.
I fought, but this is the thing: I fought all the time. I became known as the little fighter. Like people would say, "Don't mess with that little girl because she'll fight." I fought
Right.
dudes. I really wouldn't fight girls because there wasn't no competition.
Right.
You
Right.
know, I liked fighting dudes because they knew how to hit. I didn't windmill. I buckled up like Tyson. So I couldn't stand fighting girls 'cause they wanted to scratch and pull her. I ain't. Let's just box. That was just me
Right. Right.
and
You're
stuff.
not doing. You ain't want to do the rock star dance. Put your
Now,
head down and then start swirling your hands.
right, right.
Like you're doing a rock star song.
So right. So I just became my temper became so bad,
Yeah, I know
and
that.
because I felt like everybody who called themselves wanted to be close to me, attached to me. It was something about me they wanted,
No.
and it was never straight. Let me just be here for you. Is I'll be here for you if it was always something at the end of that.
Always. I
Yeah.
know that. And I still learned that late in life. But go ahead.
But that's why I say now to anybody, it's three things that I need: loyalty, honesty, and stability. And anytime I meet a person that don't have those three attributes, I'll mess with them because
Okay.
I've learned I need that to continue to be what I am.
Right.
And anybody who affects that, miss me. I don't
Yeah.
need nothing that's coming through to undo all the work that I've done to be who I am. I don't need nobody pressing my temper, to go crazy. That's why I don't beef.
Hmm.
You gotta know your ministry, and that ain't me. I don't beef because my temper won't let my mind ain't set up like that to do that. I'm one that if I say I'm gonna hit you in your mouth, I'm gonna try to make that happen.
Yeah,
So I ain't
you
got
better than me because I don't get that far. I usually I would drop a situation and would drop of a dime. I mean, like flat.
yeah.
and
Yeah.
it'd be like never knew you, you
Yeah.
know, and that's it. You know what I mean? So because if it had to go in that area, I ain't for a lot of talking, and I
Yeah.
come from an area
There you
that
go.
I yeah, you already know. So I'm gonna say
Yeah.
mine, yours for your interview. So
No, I'm just saying, I'm one put like this. I know there's always misunderstandings, okay? Because one, nobody's alike. Nobody's alike, but I have to know what line I can't cross. That's what I'm
right,
saying. I know what a lot of people don't know what pushes their buttons. I know what pushes my buttons,
right,
but I'm one. If there's a misunderstanding, I'd rather have peace than chaos.
right.
But if you get me on the other side of that scale, because I am a Libra, if you get me on the other side of this scale, it's like, okay, who are you? But I don't like being that person because I used to be so quick to be like, boom, and keep it moving. But I'm learning now this is not everybody. Let me make this disclaimer because I don't want nobody at me. Some people, when I feel like it's better to know them than to not. I'll fight for it because like I said, if I'm for you, I'm for you. Can't nobody turn me against you. Like
Right.
I be saying, we be like, no, that's my friend, that's So I'm gonna try to keep that closeness of that relationship. But then if it comes to a point and I see that you're full of doo doo, then I'm like, okay, you're right. So, and I had to, like I said, my own survival. Um, you know, my own survival was at stake with that, especially in a relationship that I had, trying to save somebody, and I almost lost my own life trying to save theirs.
Yeah, understood. Understood. Hey, Auntie Donna,
Hey, Auntie Donna.
thank you for coming to our interview. Okay. So when do you start being an entertainer as of dancing?
Ooh,
Or I didn't want to get like say, they
you talking
say
about a stripper?
stripper, but they say I'm
Let's see. It is what it is, too.
right, right.
I started. Okay, I went on my own at the age of 16 for real. I was in foster care, but my foster mom allowed me to stay with my boyfriend, put it like that,
Hmm.
as long as I called in. So we had our own place. So I would check in with her once a day, let her know I was okay. So from me getting emancipated at 17 years old through the court system, I moved out on my
Right.
own. So I want to say when I turned a little bit before 18, because I was going to school and I was doing some other stuff, but I was always a great dancer.
Hmm.
And my cousin, the same cousin, told me because he was a stripper. He became a stripper in Chicago.
Okay.
So he was like, you know what? I'm gonna teach you something. And I was like, what? What are you gonna teach me? So he's
Hmm.
the one that told me, he said, the way you dance, he said, you can dance, you can make you some money. And I'm like, I ain't going in no place and pay nobody no money for me to take off no clothes and not only get a percentage. And he
Right.
said, now you smart enough to put it, where it benefits you. So I have a friend, I ain't gonna say her name, but I have a friend, and we both was talking because we both could dance.
Hmm.
And we just came up with this routine, like we'll just be our own boss and we'll let certain people know. So when we used to go to the clubs, and the dudes, with the money, with the loose rapper, they got the money, would say, man, where you go? I'm like, nah, I ain't gonna do it, but I dance for you. Oh, you dance? Yeah. And so it started catching on and things like that. And she went to California and all that. I wasn't traveling out of town because I had kids, but I did go to different cities and all this and stuff. But I was able to be my own boss and make my own money, and I made great money. So I don't shun that because that's a part of who I was.
A lot of people think, I mean, if any profession, no matter what it is, if you keep it classy and you leave the nonsense out of it, the drugs and all that stuff,
Mhm.
I mean, it can be a lucrative position, but
Right.
you have a lot that makes the position that is, for one, they try to make it tabooish, you know
Mhm.
what I mean? And also, they try to take a lot from it and make it a negative when overall, like any other job, you know, if the rules are if the rules are basically being met and basically they being followed, then it can be a very good business, for a person who wants to get into it. I'm not against it, but it's just what surrounds it, from uh, a lot of ladies getting on drugs, then they're leaving the club and then going to do extra curriculum activities that makes it look bad. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And then that's where you get the people from the outside saying, "Oh, a lot of them are hoes and they're messing up homes and all this other stuff." And also from the outside saying those things is not making things even better. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I disagree, and people shouldn't always look at certain positions. When they make a lot of good money, so I wouldn't sleep on that. I mean, I wouldn't highly recommend it because it takes balls for you to get up there to do
Right.
that.
Right.
So and a lot of people don't understand that. You know, and then also, it's just overall, not a bad position. It's not hoeing. Actually, it is a part of an art. It's
Mhm.
no different from you belly dancing to you doing ballet. You
Right.
know, everybody had their costumes. Some have less dove, but it's still a dance. If a
Yeah.
belly dancer is dancing in front of you, and like if you're at a another country where they do belly dancing, they throw money and gold and stuff like that. So
That's right.
what's that different than a stripper, on a pole performing? There's no difference.
Yeah.
It is what it is. And
Yeah.
I mean, we need to get away from that and start treating it with more respect. And people had to look at a different aspect. Even the same thing with men. You know, they don't look at it, and it's sad that they look at it different from the women because it's a whole lot more entailed for men. Women can touch men. Men can't touch the women.
Yeah.
So, if anything, they shouldn't have that with us all clean and fun when it's not.
That's true.
So yeah, it's definitely double standards there too as well.
Yeah.
But okay. Let me ask you this. So when you while you was going through your exotic dancing years,
Mhm.
your time, um, when did you uh started decided to get into counseling and stuff like that?
Well, I've always been one that people talk to about their problems. It actually was one of my aunties that said, "Have you ever thought about getting paid for people to tell you about their problems?" And I was, I was like, huh? She said, "Cause that's all you do. You be on the phone. People be talking about this is what happened. What should I do about this?" And I was like, "Huh, that makes sense." Um, I did start off going to medical school, and I had to drop out because I started running into daycare issues and stuff. And so I didn't want my kids to suffer behind that. So I'm like, well, I eventually go back to school, to become some form of a doctor. I wanted to be a pediatric cardiologist. And so that's what I was going for first. Then I said, well, I'll go to be a RN. And then when I met with the counselor, that was like, because that was too demanding again. So after a while, I said, well, what do I love to do? Yep. Only thing, just don't show my real name.
Oh, sorry, I'm sorry.
Now you good. You didn't show it. That's why I caught you early. Thank
Okay.
you. That's one of the books. Yeah, I asked she I asked myself, what do I love to do? And what I love to do is talk to people.
Okay.
Which you showed my name.
I did. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Ah, right there. There you go. It's okay. They'll know eventually. It's just that these people over here dox too much.
Right, right.
But they good. So anyway, y'all, that's the book. If y'all support me, thank you so much. And those of you all who's in here who has bought my book, I appreciate it. I really do. Um, he's awesome. I thank Anthony for doing that. Thank you so much. So I love to talk to people and I love to listen and I love to try to help people solve their problems. So when I had a chance to go back to school, I wanted to make it count this time. So when I went back to school, I was able to at the end of my biblical studies, I was able to go for my doctorate to be a counselor. And so I went for it. Hello?
Okay, yeah, I'm here. I'm
Okay.
here. I'm
I
here.
didn't know if I
Nah,
disconnected or not.
I was trying to. I'm pulling up the other book
Okay.
and basically blocking out your name now.
Okay.
So.
You're good though. Yeah, I just didn't know if I had disconnected from you because I hit something.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Um. Okay. Uh. Now I guess we can go ahead and try to. How can I say? Go into a deeper area.
Okay.
Well, let me put it like this. So what would you want to share about, your journey concerning the abuse, and what would you want to um, tell people from what you learned from your abuse growing up through this time, and what they can do, if possible, to get themselves out of it or to get help.
Okay. Wow. What I want to say is it's never too late to start over. I always use the analogy is that God made pencils with erasers for a reason, so you can erase over and start over again. A lot of people out here, especially women, I hear people, I've been like this all my life. I'm too old to change. Well, it's the state of
Yeah,
mind.
you definitely hear that a lot.
Yeah. So if you happy with who you are, then stop complaining to me. That's point blank, period. I don't want you complaining to me talking about, oh, I wish this, I wish that. And then when you are offered a chance or different ways to make things happen better, the answer you give is, I'm too old to change. I've been like this all my life. Okay. Then don't make me your garbage can. Um, you have to want to be different because just because these things happen to me, I didn't just take it and sit down. I knew that I had a purpose with my life and I knew there was a calling on my life. So I was not afraid because I'm a fighter. I keep saying that. I'm a fighter and I'm a survivor. So if you tell me I can't and I really want to, I'm going to. It's nothing going to stop me from that. And so you have to get in your mind what's more important, staying where you are when you know the greater is calling, or fighting to get where you need to be. Once you make that decision, everything else will follow. And if you need to talk to somebody, get to somebody who you can talk to that help you with those steps. So,
And there's always help out there. There's always help out there.
yeah.
Matter of fact, it is so much help out there that you'll be surprised in any area that you at. There's programs.
Mhm.
You just need to just reach out and ask. There's a lot of help. Here in this area, I have donated cell phones and donated time and everything to a few shelters here in the DMV area. And you'll be surprised with just the little things from clothes to cell phones to anything. And they're very grateful, very, very grateful, you
Yeah.
know. So just be mindful. If you know someone who's going through something, let them know they're not alone. And if they want to help, if they want to make that change, that is out here. And yeah, it's not the best thing, but you got to start from somewhere. Like Coco said, it's like a pencil. You can. It's not going to really erase the life, but you can rewrite your life. To the direction that you want to be, where it's safe and love and where you can prosper. And
Thank
be who you want to be.
Amen.
Um,
That's right. That's right.
man, I mean, it's just a lot of times, people get too comfortable. And my thing is how life is today. This is not the 60s or the 50s that one person has to stay home. Now it was a choice and something that's written between you and your partner. That's one thing, but these days it actually usually takes two. I mean, sometimes one can do it, but I think women and men, if you have a dream, go after it. You know what I mean? um Always. So I know sometimes you got to take sacrifices, but never don't forget yourself. If something, because you never know what's going to happen. So it's always good to keep yourself up, men or women, to keep yourself, what you want to do and go for the dreams that you want to get into, or the dreams that you have planned out for you. You can still do that and be committed, to someone, and that person should actually support you as you support that person. You know what I mean? So never let yourself down. Always continue to create goals for yourself and work
Yes.
hard to reach them.
Yes.
Look at Coco. I mean, she's been through a lot. She got books. I mean, she's a minister. She's a counselor. I mean, and she does a lot, and she gives a whole back to the community. And she's been going through a lot. I mean, she just lost one of her siblings, and it takes. This woman is a very very strong woman, very
Thank
strong.
you. Thank you.
So if anything, you can definitely. I mean, from what I read in her books, you can definitely learn a whole lot. I mean, she even helped me through a couple of things, understanding things,
Yeah.
So, I mean, go and watch her videos. She gives very great tutorials in the morning when she's taking her walk, especially down there by that river.
Yes. That was me. Yes.
Right. And I like the one when you talk to the guy you see all the time too, and
Oh
he pointed out the airplane thing. I was like, oh, that's pretty neat. I like
yeah.
that. But that was a message. You just gotta know when to catch that message and understand it. So,
Yeah.
well,
Mm.
usually I'm a big fan, so
Oh, thank you.
no problem, no problem. Um, so let's speak on the the adult years with the domestic abuse.
Okay.
So go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, it's ironic because my daughter who was killed um this year, her dad was diabolical in his mind. And one of the things he used to try to do is to bring fear on me. So one day I was in the room, not paying no attention. I was doing something, and he actually pointed a gun to my head. And I happened to turn around while he had the gun to my head. And I always say I think it was an angel that took my hand, because it was like I didn't even think about it. I just hit his hand like that with the gun. And when that happened, a bullet came out the gun, hit the wall, and piece of the wall chipped off and was like flew on me, flew on the floor, like that. And he was laughing, but he said, I'm sorry, I was just playing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, who plays like that? So and it was crazy because when we found my daughter and everything, and we found out that her lover, shot her in her head, caught her off guard. And I was just like, wow, how ironic was that? Like my daughter's father.
Coco,
Yeah.
excuse me. You were starting to break up a little bit there. Hey, Tita, thank
Oh,
you for coming, Tita. Tita Talks is
see?
here. That's my YouTube
Can
mom
you
now.
hear
That's
me?
my YouTube mom.
Okay. I like her. I do. I
Yeah,
like her.
I mean, everybody loves her. I mean, she's the YouTube oracle right there.
Okay.
Tita Talks.
Hmm.
She
I be
is the
seeing her
mom,
on the stuff on her videos. I be cracking up.
right? She just did one the other night. and but she was letting some people have it. But I mean, hey,
I
you be
believe.
bad, you get that spanking. It is what it is. Shout
Oh
out
my
to Tom. He
goodness.
the dog. I'm sorry. Go
Hmm.
ahead.
No, but I was just saying how ironic was that, that he tried to do it to me and it wasn't successful for our daughter, me and his daughter to turn around and die, that way. It was
It's
crazy. He used to terrorize me. He really
okay.
used to torment me to the point to where they actually moved me. It was supposed to be secretive, but they moved me. And one day I was going into the job that I had at the time, and he was sitting outside on his car, and he so happened to say, "Hey." And I turned around and saw him and just screamed. I mean, because he didn't know where I work, he didn't know where I moved. All this was after him. But it goes
Okay.
to show that he had been following me,
Gotcha.
you know, had been stalking me. And so one day in my new, down in where I grew up at, I had, when they transitioned me from one apartment complex, they put me down there with my family because that's where I asked to be. I felt safer and stuff. And so, one day he, called and he wanted to know if he can come and see the kids. And I wasn't, I'm not that nasty woman to be like, if me and you ain't together, you can't see your children. And so, and I said, sure. I said, so when he came in and everything, he seen the kids and all that. And he said, well, I'm going to go. And I said, okay. So, he asked me one last time. He was like, are we getting back together? I said, no. And so he went on out the door. And I was up there. I had just put the kids to bed and I was folding up clothes and I heard something. And I was like, am I hearing something? You know how you
Mhm.
hear something
Right.
and you're not sure if you heard something? So
Right.
that's what that was. And so when I kept saying, nah, I ain't heard nothing, I ain't heard nothing. So anyway, when I did get up to go see if I heard something, he was standing at the door.
Oh.
And so I said, how'd you get back in my house? Like that. He had already took the key off my keychain on his way out the door so he could get back in. Okay.
Lord.
So in his mind, he had it premeditated what he was going to do.
Mhm.
So of course, when he came in the room, then I seen that he had a knife. And I'm like, you gonna have to kill me. So we got into a fight in the room, and all this stuff. And it got to a point because my kids was in their sleep, and I am so grateful to this day that they never woke up. And I mean, we was falling on beds. They never woke up not one time. And it got to a point, Anthony, I said, you know what, I'm tired. I'm just because I feel like I have been fighting all my life. And I was like,
Right.
I'm tired. Just kill me. I don't care. I don't care anymore. Just kill me and stuff. And
Mhm.
so he didn't kill me, but he raped me at knife point,
Oh God.
in the same room with our kids. And so anyway, when it was all said and done, he got up and he left, you know. And I don't know if I was in a mind frame. I don't know what mind frame I was in, but when I snapped out of it, because I don't even remember going in the bathroom or nothing like that. When I snapped out of it was when I heard one of my kids say, Mama, why you in the tub with your clothes on? Just like that. And it shocked me. I was like, you know, and I was like, here I come, get out. And evidently I had got and walked in there and was just sitting in the tub with water running over me and my clothes, like what was left of my clothes, and everything and stuff. So my brothers found out about it, and evidently he was trying to come back. I don't know what he was coming back for, but he was trying to come back, and my brothers saw him, and I mean it was like two cars of them. My brothers, my cousin, and this dude who was my first love. He grew up with us,
Mhm.
and they tried to kill him, and he ran into the police station. He,
Oh
ran
Lord.
there and told them
He
that
needs to run.
I know. He ran in there and told them that there's some people out here trying to kill me, and all this and stuff. So yeah. And after that, I hadn't seen him no more. It's like he disappeared. And then I found that I was pregnant
Mm.
and stuff. And so that was the result of that rape. I became pregnant, had another child from that.
Oh God. Uh,
Hmm.
okay.
And
Whew.
let me explain, because some people's like, I don't know how you talk about that, and because I can talk about that because me talking about that keeps me strong. If it
Yes,
ever gets to a point I can't talk about it, it means they win.
right. You have to release it, and if
Right,
you release it in a way that it helps you, it also is going to help someone else. And a lot
right,
of people don't get that. Talking about it definitely is always somebody is the quiet one. It's the one who's sitting in the corner who feels alone, feel that they did something bad. And that's not the case. You talking what they've been through. They can relate to you. They can understand. And with you talking, that gives them the take their power back. It helps
okay.
them want to take their power back you know. Hey
Mhm,
Lolo, same with you, Lolo. We know your story we know part of your story as well. So you
mhm.
understand as well. I know, and a lot of people in here either been through it or know somebody who's been through it. As a loved one, a friend, family member. I mean, yeah, but what we need to do is start to, get it out there. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it can awareness. Awareness is always the key. And if you keep it bottled up, we can't help each other if we're not, communicating with each other.
And what's so funny is, and what is a good thing, because this is what I wanted to happen, but my kids never knew anything like that happened to me until they read my book.
I was just about to,
And
that was my next question for you.
yes,
Let's explore that right there. So I was just about to ask,
I
how do
always,
your kids and when did they find out, and um, how do they feel now, knowing everything that happened to you, and are you still associated with some of the people who have harmed you in the past, and how do your kids relate to it?
well, like I said, they didn't realize what all I had been through until they read my book. I
Hmm.
always believe that you should let your kids stay innocent because as they grow up, they're already gonna face a cruel world because kids
Right.
can be cruel. Okay, and so I knew how it felt for a child to lose their innocence. So I never wanted that to happen to my kids. So
Right.
anything that I went through when I got in front of my kids, I never showed it. I always
Well,
showed,
let me
huh?
ask you this.
Okay.
Not to cut you off. With that being said, um, without actually telling them, how do you um, teach them, especially the girls, but the boys need to know too,
Mhm.
but how do you teach them, to stay out of dark corners, stay out of dark alleys, after the experiences that you've been through?
That's a curse and a blessing. Let me say the blessing part of it is for some reason my kids look at me and think I'm Wonder Woman. And what I mean by that is they, their their thing is they'll tell people, man, my mama been through hell and back. If she can do it, I know I can. My mama was always there for me. We didn't
Mhm.
even know we was poor. My mama, so that's how they look at me. And I'm
Well,
grateful
that's
for
all
that.
good moms. All good moms are the superheroes.
Yeah.
Mom can fix anything. Dad can beat up everything, and mom can fix everything.
Thing. But on the flip side of that, I also made people who feels like it's a weakness to say I'm hurting. You see what I'm saying? And
Right.
I had to take that. I had to like ask my kids to forgive me because like I told them during like I had y'all during my process, as I was processing. And I came across as somebody who didn't show no weakness,
Right.
and on that note, all of my kids got that. Every last one of them is like, you never know when they're hurt. Now I do because I know the signs and I know I know them.
Right.
But people can look at them and they can be going through purity hell and you would never know it.
Right.
And so, and I had, like I said, I had to apologize to them and I had to tell them, mama only could teach out from where she knew and where she was going. Maybe I should have been a little bit more vulnerable in front of you all, and you all would know it's okay to have those moments. So they're learning now,
Hmm.
that if I don't feel it today, I just don't feel it. I'm okay if I don't feel it.
Right.
But to get to that point, like I said, it was a blessing and a curse because they saw that side of me, and that's just how they are. Even my boys are so strong, it's ridiculous. And even when they have an emotion, they're like, because I got two boys, I got seven girls, two boys. So even my boys is like, no, they won't let a tear come down. If they do, they think it's, nah, I'm like, no, it's okay. It's so, no, mama, no, no, hey, I'm good, I'm good.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I get that too. I got my middle son, and well, actually all my sons. Well, if I talk to the oldest one, and if I talk to the youngest one, but the middle one, he's real stubborn. If
mm,
he mad, just let it go and come back some other time and talk through it. Because he's not gonna give it to you, even though something's wrong.
right, right. So you do better just letting them come to you when they're ready,
Right.
unless it's 911, and everything. But I am so proud of my children. I really am. I mark success not by how much money you have, because you can have all the money in the world and be a very low vibration person, you know.
Right. Right.
But the fact that my kids like talking to me, even my older kids, even my sons, they would come to me, Mama, it's this girl, and you ain't gonna like it, but I just need you to listen to me. I'm like, oh my goodness, like, and I wouldn't change it for nothing in the world. I know some people like, well, they shouldn't be asking you and talking to you like that, but if they're not gonna come to their mom and talk to me, who they gonna come to?
Mhm. I
Because I
mean,
mean, they can talk to their friends and get the wrong misinformation.
yeah, and that's the go-to all the time is going to your friends about stuff. Even as adults, it still happens that way with couples and just adults. Period.
Hmm.
It's just strange that a lot of times you feel more comfortable to talking to a non-family member about a situation than you would your the loved ones that you're there, because it's almost like you don't want to hurt your loved one, or you don't want to disappoint them, so it feels easier for them. And we as parents, we still need to learn how to open up doors for our siblings, our
Hmm.
kids, and let them know that hey, no matter what it is, you should able to come and talk to us, so
Right.
we can help them get through this process of learning to become an adult. So yeah.
That's true. Like, let me see. I have a daughter that graduates at the end of in 2 weeks actually, and she'll
Hey,
have a registered.
congratulations.
Yeah, she'll have a registered nurse
Oh
degree.
man.
And she's already got three contracts from three different hospitals, and she don't know which one to pick. So I was helping her to pick which one that would be better, not just for her now, but that she can grow.
Right, right. You
Um,
know, don't go for the short, quick thing. Make sure that you know what you giving them, you getting that in return.
mhm,
And don't pay me for what I can do. Pay me for what I know.
right.
That's the way you go at it, because anybody can do anything. Anybody can show anybody anything to do, but you can pay for my knowledge, and that's going to take you the long way.
There you go. That's right. I was telling somebody today, I was like, I wish I had my dad's brain, God rest his soul. Um, my father could speak and write six different languages.
Oh,
And he worked his way from a cop to a detective, and he also spent extensive time over in uh, the Philippines, China. He was all over there learning their art. And when he came back here, he changed it around to make it fit everyday life, and
mhm,
they got books and stuff about him. And, out of five surrounding states of Kentucky, my dad was number one in martial arts. He was a real life ninja, and I mean, he was just that man, you know what I'm saying? And I just want, he always used to tell me, you will go so much further than me. And I couldn't see it. And I still can't see it, but I'm living
mhm.
off what he said. He always told me, you're gonna go way further than what I've ever done.
Right.
He said, because you've had to fight more demons than I have. He said, and that fighter in you, it's not gonna ever go.
Right.
So whatever you want, you use it as a stepping stone and go for it. And like I said, and I could talk to my dad about sex, anything. I mean, we done had some conversations, and this was his question: is this a coffee conversation or is this a brandy conversation?
Both brown drinks. One gonna
Right.
wake you up, or one's gonna relax you from hurting somebody.
Yeah. And I would say, Uh, okay. It has to do with. He's like, oh, that's a brandy. Okay, all right. Let me give me a shot. Come on, And I'd be cracking up. I'm like, Daddy, but he almost killed my cousin, which is his nephew. He almost killed him when he found out what he was doing to me. They did that from him.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, they did that from him, and I thought I was gonna lose my daddy. And then I want to say this too, and then I'm let you have it. Um, parents, grandparents, uncles, aunties. This is what happened to me, so I want y'all to be careful. One day I was over in my dad's what they call that? Since what they call that? Anyway, where he taught martial arts. And we were ready to leave so we can all go get something to eat. So we were all coming up the steps from the basement. And he said, hey baby, go back and get my cigarettes. He said, they down there by the window. I said, yes, sir. So they was waiting on the second part of the steps for me. You had to go down, like you had to go down 7 steps, rest, down 7 more. So they was at the top 7 steps. And so I ran back down there. It was dark, While I'm down there going to the second room trying to get his cigarettes, I got grabbed.
oh.
When I got grabbed, somebody put their hand over my mouth and took their other hand and was filling out up under my bra, all in my shorts, trying to kiss me on my neck, all of that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I finally, in my mind, thought about my training. Okay. And I was able to get a loose and I took off running. Well, my sister saw me.
Oh.
And she said, what's wrong? I said, nothing. I wasn't acting like myself. And she said, no, something's wrong. So then when her boyfriend said, what happened? She said, something's wrong with her. And so they happened to turn and seen this man coming from the basement. Nobody knew he stayed back. What happened was he heard my daddy tell me to go back and get his stuff. And he slid on back because he had been watching me. Okay. So make a long story short, we got to the restaurant. And they kept trying to get me to tell them what happened. I wouldn't say anything because remind y'all, at 8 years old, I tried to say something and was told to shut up. Okay. So that stayed with me. So I wouldn't say anything. And so she said, if you don't tell me, I'm going to tell daddy. And so I was like, no, don't say nothing. So my dad heard it. And my dad said, what's wrong? And they looked at me and he said, come here. He said, yeah, I'll talk to you in a minute. Let me have this space with my daughter. So I went over there and I sat at his table. He said, tell me what's wrong. I said, nothing. He said, baby, don't lie to me. What happened? What's wrong? He said, because the way they talking, what happened? So I told him. And when I told him what happened, he said, uh-huh. He said, okay. He said, you okay? I said, yeah, I'm fine. He said, you sure? I said, yeah, I'm fine. He said, okay, I'll take care of it. I said, no. He said, no, I'm going to take care of it. It's going to be okay. He said, y'all take her home. Okay. The next day, y'all, they told me that my daddy cleaned this man from the basement to the 3rd floor, all the way down to the basement again, to the 3rd floor again, threw him out the door. The reason why I brought this story up is because that guy was a police officer. The guy was a police officer. He was there taking martial arts lessons. And he had snatched me and pulled me in a room. He had planned on raping me. But they were still waiting on me. And I believe that right there is what kept him from doing what he thought he could do. Yeah. So even though we teach our kids that they should trust the police and stuff like that, and I'm not saying that they shouldn't, but you need to teach them that if something don't feel right, it's not right. Blank period.
Well,
Go
Let me
ahead.
let me ask this. Um, did your dad ever find out about that?
Yeah, that's why he beat him up. Yeah, he beat him up from the basement to the third floor, back down to the basement, back to the second floor, out the door, and he got locked up. I had to go to the police station because other. This is what I was afraid of. That man always carried like 5 or 6 guns on him,
Oh
and
God.
I felt like he was gonna kill my daddy. Okay, and I couldn't live with that. My daddy was my hero. I couldn't live with that. So my father was like, "Let me take care of this." See, and this is before my dad became a police officer. So other girls had reported the same police officer, and I didn't know until my sister got to inquiring, and then I had to, give my little statement and everything. And he was just into teenagers. He loved 13, 12, 11. He loved the girls like that. And
Mm.
because he was a police officer, of course, who gonna take a word of a kid over a police officer?
Well, it all depends, but I understand what you're saying.
Now,
In
yeah,
the
but
general
back then,
condition,
yeah,
yeah, and then in the general aspect, yeah, this little kid is just talking mess, trying to get. But I commend you. I mean, because even to this day, those type of situations is what scare kids. Period, and we have to um, have them to understand, no matter what anything is, and do like exactly the same thing you did, is to tell. You know, trust in our parents that when they tell us something, and they want to protect us, don't let nobody influence us, no matter how scared they are. That they still need to tell. We need to still tell our parents. See, because
hmm
that's what the tactic these pedophiles use. Hey, I'm gonna if you say anything, I'm gonna kill your whole family. And
yes,
now this kid is trapped. You know what I mean? In the mind, they're trapped. And that's how all these other things start to happen to them. Because they don't know what to do and they living in fear, because they're not able to explain what happened to them. And we need to break that. Whew. Okay, no problem. Um, let's see. Right, right, 300. Right, Mom. Tita talks. I mean, these days, with the internet and social media, um, kids have so much access to things that we never did. Mostly everyone in the chat right now, we are almost all around the same age. And back then we didn't have a lot of stuff that's accessible today. I mean, any kid, if they have a phone, they can put up Pornhub, and they can put up, all type. I mean, you ain't even got to put up Pornhub. You just go on Instagram and you get a whole porn show going on
come
there.
on. I know
You
you're
know?
right.
So, I mean, we really have to be on top of our game. And I mean, it's not the part that we can't teach our kids, that at an age that they understand, because believe it or not, they understand a lot more than
We give them credit for it.
exactly what we give them credit for. So it's best to start as early as possible, because if you don't teach them, the streets will, and it'd rather be you to teach them and guide them instead of letting the streets do it, because the streets and the internet, oh, they will have your kids spinning. Trust
Mhm.
and believe. So it's great to do. It's very good to just get a hold of that real fast, real quick. Because it can take off real. I mean, that's why. I mean, the internet is, and these hey, bam, my girl, thank you for coming.
Hey,
Um,
man.
um, it's a good thing that we have it, but the guidance on it is so crazy, because we have a lot of people who don't get it and don't understand it and don't know how to use it. And then you have these kids, which a lot of kids, they know, they come out, seem like they come out out of birth, with a cell phone. They know how
True.
to use taking pictures and going on TikTok at 6 months old. Hey, look at me. I'm not even talking yet. So, but I
Hmm.
mean, it is what it is. It's just that age. It's just this that time. You know what I mean? And you know, what the bad side of the internet is that you have these creeps now that we can't see. We don't see them lurking. They taking and going through there and bringing our kids to them. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? They learn them in by telling them, hey, I'm your friend, I'm this, I'm that, and so we definitely have to be aware of that as well. They don't have to come out here and just come up and grab your kid and run away and put them in a sex kid ring. They offering these kids any and everything to get them to come out and meet them somewhere.
Right.
So we have to be very, very mindful of that as well. I mean, because if not, that's how quickly our kids, can be deterred and easy encouraged to go somewhere that they ain't got no business going. So we had to keep an open dialogue with them at all times.
That's true.
So, man, I would say so. Uh, ask one more question before we get into any Q&As.
Okay.
Um, and it would be about after going through all your experiences, what who is CoCo929 now on top of who is Mr. CoCo929 and how he come about and how he shed more light into your life.
Okay. Let's see.
Sorry, John. Sorry, 300.
I would say let me start with this because that's my milk and my coffee right there. What you talking? Let me see. We have been together 25 years.
Hey,
Yeah, we have. Thank you. We have been together 22 years. We have been married 22 years. Been together 25 total.
okay.
Um, when I tell you, um, we have been through a lot. We've been through a lot, and it hasn't all been bad. It's like it's with us. Our bad is bad, but when it's good like for so long. But when we have that pocket, it's like that pocket stay for about 2 weeks,
Oh,
and then But I believe God brought me to Him because I needed someone to help restore me. I had a such a distorted uh, thought, our conception of what males were outside of my dad,
mm-hmm.
that when he met me, he did something that no man had ever did, and that was court me. I had
Right.
never been courted, and that's what he called it. He's older than me. I had never been courted, and when he met me, he was dating somebody else. We actually got introduced at a dance. I went to a dance with my cousin and her
Mm-hmm.
boyfriend, and my husband. It was her boyfriend's brother.
Okay.
And so when we got there, we was all at this table, and he wanted to dance, and his girlfriend didn't want to dance, so he came and asked me. And I looked at her. She said, "Girl, I don't care. Go and dance with him. You dance with him all night, cause I ain't." Just
Mm.
like that.
I bet
So,
you wishing now that you never let that happen.
you
All
know,
right, go ahead.
every time he wanted to dance, he would come over and say, "Miss Lady, you want to dance?" I'm like, I had never had that. And I'm like, sure, we get up and we dance. And so the next day, my cousin came down, was beating on my door. I said, "Girl, what?" She said, "You won't believe who's moving in with us." I said, "Who?" Because at night I said out of my mouth, I said, "That's a good man. He just need a better woman." Just
Oh,
like that. And she said, "Girl, they ain't gonna ever break up." I said, "I know," because they was trying to fix me up with the other brother that so happened to be there too. And I'm like, no. They wanted me in the family somehow. I'm like, no. So um the next day, when she told me, I was like, "Who?" And she told me, she said, "Weedy." That's his nickname. I said, what? She said, girl, they broke up last night and he's moving in with us. She said, but here's the thing. Guess who he asked for? I said, who? She said, he asked, hey, go get that big booty girl I was dancing with. Yeah, I like her. I was like, okay, can you tell him my name is Coco, please? Like that. So that's how we got introduced to each other. But he would see me coming home from work and he would say, how you doing, Miss Lady? I'm like, I'm fine. He's like, either good morning, Miss Lady, he would say, do you mind if I come down and sit on porch talk with you for a little while? It was just so refreshing to speak to a gentleman,
Right.
And I told him I don't let men stay over my house. I got girls, I'll listen. So he understood, Um, and then he told me, he said, I'm looking for this in a mate. I just want a family I can call my own. I want a woman I can take care of. And he said, I want to make sure she's for me. He said, what I mean by that is I want to know that I got somebody, if I'm having a bad day, that know how to, cater to me. Like, it's going to be okay, and all this and stuff. So I was like, is that all you want? And he was like, yeah. So I was like, honey, you're going to have you a wife. Okay. So, that's that's how we got together, and that's basically it. And he understands me, he understands my ups and my downs. He understands all of my past, as far as me being abused, me being raped, me being molested. I've told him all of that. And like I said, he restored it. He restored it. He brought, was like, I'm here to restore. I just want to love you. And that was, Anthony, if I can be transparent, that was so hard for me. That was hard for me to let him in to my heart.
But it's understood, though. It's understood. Look what you've been through.
Yeah.
But one part of you did let him in, and
Mm-hmm.
slowly he started to take those bricks down.
Right.
Little by little, and you let him. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
it only if you give this an ounce, and that person really want to be with you, he's going to take his time and let you go through your process as he's going through his process to, one, get to know you, secondly, and start loving on you at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
and protect you. And more that he does that every day, you will start to open up and see. And before you know it, you're fully open without even knowing that you are open.
Right. And
So,
he always tell me his philosophy from the beginning has been, it's me and him against the world.
right.
That's all he ever said to me. It's me and you against the world. And he said, eventually you will see that. He said, I know you don't see it now. He said, but you will see it. It's me and you against the world. So ever since I met him, that has been his statement with me. I got your back, even if you don't know I got your back.
Right.
So, and when I start, because I used to have this thing, I used to say, that's mine, that's mine, that's mine, and, he would say, ours? No, that's mine. You ain't buy this. You ain't. I couldn't get that concept because, again, everything had been taken from me. So when I did get it, I held on to it, and he was open. He was open. He gave me free reign, So like I said, he loved me through the uncomfortable spots, and sometimes it came with blood, sweat, and tears, because I remember one day he went to touch me in a certain way and I screamed.
Right.
He was
Right.
like, what's wrong? What's wrong? What I do? Like, he jumped up and moved in the corner. He's like, what I do? And that made me open up to him, like how bad my situation had been from me being molested and raped, and he was like, oh my God. So it let him know I'm gonna have to take my time with her. I can't force her. I can't, because if you try to force me, I'm gonna shut down on you.
Mm.
So yeah. So who is Coco now? I am a butterfly with the eagle mentality. I have been through a lot. I have weathered a lot, but I have the knowledge and the know-how to fly above or through my storm. And no matter what I go through, I always come out on top.
Mm.
That's who I am.
Okay. Well, do you have anything else that you want to add, or before we give it a quick Q&A, or
Sure, I'll say this. I'm in the process, y'all, of writing my screenplay. I am going to have my life story as a movie, even if it has to be on Netflix, even if I don't care. I'm going to have my life as a movie. Again, if Precious can make it and Tyler Perry picked up Precious, my story is way worse than that. So, but I have a silver lining at the end of my story. So
Mhm.
I am in the process. Now, I've never written a screenplay, but I've written books and I taught myself. I wrote poem plays, and I
Mhm.
taught myself I write poetry and poems. So screenplay, hey, that's just gonna have to come to me. So don't be surprised if one day I tell y'all, hey, watch out for this movie. Or either
Yeah.
y'all might hear me on the movie. So just want to let y'all know that.
Um, I want to add to that. Well, I want to say something about that as well. I saw that, and I don't know if you got my comment. I think you did. Um, but what I was saying was, there's some things I saw at work. Tyler Perry came and spoke at the job, and he was saying that he's always looking for real people who've been through real experiences. So if you write to his studios, like send certain like screenplays or stuff like that you want, and you're not afraid to get into and making a movie out of your story.
Mhm.
He's actually looking for people. So that's one thing that I was saying in the comment to you. Also, to say that if you want to do it on your own, there's some stuff online, actually free, little like how to write a screenplay, how to videos and literature online that will teach you just the basics, and then you can go from there as well before you start getting into the difficult and the things that you don't understand. Um, and from what I see already, from I'm a brag about your books all day long, so I think
Thank you.
they're great, and I would say that your movie, between what I saw already, it put in the proper contents,
Hmm.
is already written right there. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
uh, if you can take parts out of that and then make it into how a screenplay will look by doing the versatility and also adding the emotion and the dramatization to it, um, it's already there. So you're not far off. It's just it's just going through the proper technique of learning and the proper channels of distributing it. That's it.
I received that.
To get
Okay.
it out there. So I mean, if you need my help, you
I
already got
sure will.
my stuff already. So
Mhm.
and I have not direct connects, but I know a few people, you know.
I believe it.
So
How
and there's a
you
few
locked in?
people
You
here.
locked in. You're gonna be working with me. You locked in, so you know.
Okay. Um well hopefully this won't be the last interview of CoCo929. I hope this will be the beginning, and we get into some other things we can talk about. I have my first interview and a great successful interview as well. I appreciate you.
You did a
Any
great
Q&A
job.
from everyone? Or I had to give the floor to Libra Butterfly, CoCo929.
Yeah, they can ask me whatever they want to ask me. I have answered a couple ones about Miss Tita Talks. I told her how to get my books.
Mm-hmm.
You can give her my email address because I think because I'm a content creator, it won't let me put it down there.
Gotcha.
And I answered December, baby. Hopefully the new book, the third book to that trilogy, will be out in December. It's called Me versus Me.
Oh yeah,
Me
you
spelled
know,
MI.
and oh, you know, Tita won a signed copy though.
Yeah, that's fine. I can do that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of my. That's why I was so patient because I wanted a signed copy because I know, especially when everything goes up, you know, I'm like, I know her. I got an original right here, and it's gonna be worth a whole lot of money. And I'm like, yep, I know her.
Yeah, because with this third book, what's taking so long with this third book is because of course, the death of my daughter, but
Right.
also I wanted to implement something she was trying to do, which is to put a EP attached to the book, a
Okay.
single, like a little single.
Oh, that was
Um,
nice.
yeah, and so that's I'm actually, I write songs, and I'm
Mm,
actually trying to see what song is gonna fit the book.
got.
So
Well, if
I
you need instrumentals, you know, you give me the melody, I will definitely make it for you. Send it
are
to me.
you serious?
Yeah,
And you don't say it, you're gonna make me cry. Are you serious?
I'm not playing.
Oh, see, I told you we was gonna work together. Y'all heard it here. Y'all heard it here. Now I ain't no Patty LaBelle or nothing. I do what I do. You know what I'm saying? But oh my goodness, that's the only thing I've been holding out on is that because she was so instrumental about having a song to go with the book.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
We can make it exactly. Huh?
Okay, I'm just clapping.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
anybody got
I've been doing music for years, making beats and everything. So I even played some. If you go on some of my video, I think it's maybe one or two. But yeah, um, yeah. I was thinking I was gonna put one on tonight, but when everything went haywire, it threw me off because I was gonna have that in the background. One of my like real mellow beats, um, that's like relaxing. Um, but yeah, like I said, everything went off, but got back on track, so I had to just go from there.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
glad I
there's 300. Look at 300. There it is. Thank you, 300.
put. What do you think?
Also, if y'all can't get in contact with her, come to me, and I would definitely get it directly. Coco already know that I got her, so um,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
get.
I have to say this. I have to give him his flowers while he yet lived. Look, y'all, when I found out what happened with my daughter, and I don't know if some of y'all know or not, but if you've ever sit with Anthony, I'm quite sure he told y'all. But my daughter's girlfriend actually killed her. She was sitting in the bed watching TV, didn't know the girl was in the house, and the girl shot her in the head point blank. Okay, she never saw it coming. And this was right before her 30th birthday this year. And we had my grandson, which is her son, hadn't talked to his mom. Nobody, when all the kids got to discussing when was the last time they talked to her, we realized it had been a minute. And so when we was out there and everything, come to find out, my daughter had been deceased since April. Okay. The girl who killed her was still sleeping in the house with her dead body.
Mhm.
And I know it's sick. Um, so this man, okay, he ain't the only one, but he's the main one. Okay. This man took it upon himself to start giving me support because she had no insurance policies. She's young. Young people don't think about that.
Right.
I know I didn't when I was her age, but she had just started her job and all this and stuff. And he did this GoFundMe, not GoFundMe thing, but he did this if y'all want to donate, Cash App her and all this and stuff. And that right there, that helped. That helped me so much. I wouldn't believe it. Gave me a peace of mind. He said, I'm going to do this so you won't have to think about the financial aspects. You keep focusing on, your daughter and your kids. And I appreciate that so, 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 so much. So I just wanted to tell y'all, yes, I knew about the I keep on saying GoFundMe. Yes, I knew about the Cash App and everything. He asked me for my permission. I told him yes, because that's something he wanted to do, and I appreciated it. So,
Yeah, because I read your books, and it's like, and we already talked offline, and
mhm,
everything was, I was getting more in tune with your books, and everything was going on. I was so intrigued, and
mhm.
then that came out of left field. So it
Yeah,
was like, from me feeling how like I was part of your life when I read your
yeah,
book. So it was like, this, come on, man, something's got to let up. So I'm like, no, she can't be taking all this. And so I'm like, yo, just give me permission to let me. And then I try to be patient, but I didn't want time to go fast. So I was
yeah,
like, okay, well, I put it in a name that I think is okay. It'll come to me, and I sent it to her,
mhm,
and then that kind of got messed up and like mixed in the chords in there, because
yeah,
you created one before you replied to my message. So it was like, and then, you know, trolls gonna be trolls,
yeah,
start saying crazy stuff, and I'm like, okay, here we go, and
mhm,
I was like with you, worrying about that more, and I let my feelings get involved, and I was like, hold up, man, look, I ain't stealing nothing. I ain't take nothing.
right,
Everything that I got, I sent to her. And
right,
I'm like, I will show you receipts, anything you need. But I mean, I ain't even had to go through it because, for one, it was to you. And that's
yeah,
all what really mattered. You know what I
mhm,
mean? And I wanted to make that clear. Also, something happened that you don't know about, but you do know about. I told you um, a couple of content creators was giving you shout out, and some trolls, I don't know, trolls or something, had got it misconstrued or something, with the T lady. I want to say her whole name,
okay,
but fantastic life. Remember I told you about that person?
yeah,
And another person, another girl, I keep forgetting her name, but they was listening to one of your videos, and they was like feeling real, they heard it, and it was heartfelt, and they was, giving you props, and that's why I came and told you that, hey, wow, you're out there, because you have people who don't even speak to you is giving you love, you know what I
yeah,
mean? And you want to know who they were, and I put that, and you say, tell me who they were, and I told you, and then you said thank you, but somebody twisted it up and got it back to them like I was saying something bad about them.
what?
Yeah, it was crazy. So I'm glad you here, so they can hear Fantastic Life and the girl that you had on your panel. Y'all did a great thing, and shout out to you for giving the love to Coco, and she's right here to make
Yeah.
that very clear.
Yes, I appreciate it. Whoever it was, some people just born to be messy.
Right,
They just
right,
born, so I don't expect anything. Them are people with dark hearts and dark souls. But for everybody who helped him out with my daughter's burial, and who wished me well, who sending me any love and light, whatever you did that was positive, I really, really, really appreciate it. I really do. I don't even have enough tongues, energy, or whatever to tell you how much I appreciate it. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. I really do so much because it helped. It was more than a help. It was just, I don't know. I can't say that. You don't know how it feels to know that you don't financially have to really worry about it because it's being handled. And
right,
then when that time comes and you have to do the bill, you got something to put down. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
it really helps. So thank you so much. And he did do what he said he was gonna do with it. He sent whatever y'all sent him, he sent it to me, and I had the proof of who sent it. So he didn't keep it, did nothing bad happen. He actually did what he said he was going to do. So that's why I'm here now saying this is a really good guy. He's a really good guy. So
I appreciate that, but you also be around great people, so you definitely, you help good people, help good people.
there you
Period.
go.
You know what I mean? It's just the way it works. Sometimes we try to help people, even with people who seem to be good and probably are good, but sometimes misguided and going other directions. But at that point, they still have some good for you to be good with them.
Mhm.
So, I'm not going to take that away from people who are at least trying as well. But good people help good people. And I mean, that's just how it goes.
You
even if they're not good, at least your part when you're trying to help people, your heart is clean because you doing what you think is best.
right.
So anyway, if we don't have no more questions, then hey, let's wrap it up. Um, Again, thank you. And I mean, I really, really appreciate you. And thank you for sharing your life with us. And um, continue to do all of God's work and and shine like you do. You know, I know it's going to be a lot of bumpy roads, but shoot, everything you've been through, shoot, you get that, you put out that lasso and wrap it around them and say, "Hey, tell the truth."
Come on, Wonder Woman.
Right.
Come
And
on.
you know, just keep your spirits high and love those children, love your husband, love your family, you know, take care of everything that you've been doing. You know, just continue to be you, you know, and hey, and you know, we will always stand behind you and you stand behind us and we're gonna keep things rolling.
All right. Thank you so much. And thank you for being who you are. You know I got your back. Thank you so much.
No
Thank you
problem.
for having me.
No, but thank you for coming. We're supposed to be having my interview next week.
Yes.
So same day, different date next week. I guess around the same time. So
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and I hope y'all come back for that. And that's gonna
Yes.
be probably fun and wild too. So
It's gonna
um,
be off the chain next week. Yes, because we're gonna interview Mr. Please, please, please himself, Mr. Anthony.
right. And I appreciate y'all in the chat. Really, every one of y'all, I appreciate you all for coming. Please go if you're not subscribed to Libra Butterfly, aka CoCo929. Please do. Everybody in the chat who don't know each other, please you know, go to their pages or y'all pages and get to know each other. We all together we can move things separately. We can't, and without the will of God, things can never be.
Come on now.
So thank you. That's all I can say is thank you, and y'all have a pleasant night.
You too. Have a great night.
All right, good night.